What is good, YouTube? My name is Joseph Warren, and I help people to take their communication skills, their finances, and their lives to the next level. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to overcome procrastination. I don't mean to brag, but I am actually very, very good at procrastinating. For instance, before I made this video, while I was preparing to make this video, here's a brief list of what I did. I made some guacamole. I ate that guacamole. I ate some peanut butter with pecans. I decided to go for a walk since I had done all that snacking, so I went for a walk around the neighborhood. I listened to a few of my favorite songs. I went to go brush my teeth, and only then was I ready to make this video. Think about all that procrastinating that I did. So today I'll be giving two techniques that I've actually used in my real life to overcome procrastination. And procrastination has been a big thing throughout my whole life. I remember in college, I once had a whole semester to write a 20-page paper. Do you want to know when I wrote that paper? The night before it was due. I remember staying up that night, just listening to party music, really upbeat music, and just cranking out the paper. Same with taxes this year. This year, because it was a weird year, they changed the tax date from April 15th to July 15th. Do you want to know when I did my taxes? Not as bad, but I did them on July 11th. I waited until 4 days before the deadline to complete my taxes. So, procrastination is obviously a problem that we all deal with, or most people at least, and here are two of my favorite techniques for dealing with it. Number one, do or die. I call it the do or die method. What it is you have two choices. This is something that actually a lot of writers do. And what they'll do is they'll sit down in their writing chair, lock themselves in the room. Since we live in modern times, they'll put their phone in another room, and they'll give themselves two choices while they're sitting in their writing chair. Number one, I can either write, I can do the task that I need to do, whatever it is. Or number two, I can do nothing and just sit here. So those are the two choices that you have. You either do the task or you die of boredom, just sitting there doing nothing. And you don't leave until the task is done. This is a method, I believe it's Neil Gaiman who I heard it from. I've never read any of his books, but he's a very famous author. And it's used by a lot of writers to overcome writer's block. Just sit down and either do the task or do nothing. Those are your two choices. And over time, you'll find that the boredom becomes unbearable, and you do anything to make it stop, because we hate boredom as human beings. So what we'll do is we'll do the task, even if we're dreading it. Number two, set an early deadline. Say something is due at the end of the month. Do it in the middle of the month. That way, you'll have all that extra time. And you'll find that it's just human nature. Oftentimes, the amount of time it takes us to complete a task or a project is the amount of time that we give ourselves. So a deadline will make it so you get the task done earlier and you won't be able to procrastinate. This reminds me of another thing that happened in college. I remember once I thought a test was due that week, the week I was in, but it was actually due the following week. So I showed up to class all prepared for a test, and the professor said, "Nope, there's no test this week, it's the following week." And it was just such a great feeling because for once I had not procrastinated. I was overly prepared a week ahead of time, ahead of schedule. And it was just such a great feeling. It reminded me of the opposite of that bad dream that we'll sometimes have. I think people have this dream where you signed up for a class, but you forgot to show up for the entire semester, and then it's test time. I often have that bad dream. I don't know if you guys do. But it was the exact opposite of that. It was such an amazing feeling. So if there's something important to do, set a deadline for yourself, and set a deadline that's earlier than it's supposed to be due, and you'll find that you're getting more done quicker. So we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter if you're the second richest man in the world, Elon Musk, the third richest man in the world, Bill Gates, or just some regular Joe waiting in line to buy some potato chips. Doesn't matter who you are, we have the same 24 hours in the day. And what separates the most successful people from the people who aren't so successful, or people who are successful in training, is successful people do the important tasks, they act on them, they know what they are, and they don't do them tomorrow, they don't do them next week, next year, they do them as soon as possible. As soon as they decide it's an important task, they get it done. So take a lesson from that. Remember this quote from Pablo Picasso. He has an amazing quote on procrastination that goes like this: "Only put off until tomorrow what you're willing to die having left undone." Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to comment below with your favorite technique for overcoming procrastination or things that have worked for you in the past. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like more content like this. And toodaloo.